Hi, my name's Kim and welcome back to my allotment and gardening channel at Two Small Plots. Now I've just come down to have a little bit of an update on what and how things are growing. I planted some things. I needed to bring some extra glass down. It's been super windy here, and so I was a bit worried about the new greenhouse behind me, because there was a hole that happened, a bit of a breakage in the glass, and it's in the direction of the oncoming wind, and so I was just afraid that the wind was going to drive through that hole and maybe blow some of the other glass out or something. It's been very gusty. It's calming down a bit now, but we've had like 25 to 30 mile per hour winds, and big gusty, just big gusts. So I've got two things here that I'm not sure. I'm going to ask my father what he thinks to patch it up. It's going to be a bit of a patch up because I'm not a super glass cutter, but so I've got some polycarbonate that was left over from my greenhouse at home when I had to repair. There was some panes missing when I picked that up, because that was a second-hand one, and just had to pick that one up. So I've got two bigger panels of that, and then I have got one piece of actual glass that was spare, so might be able to fit that in. I'm not going to do that today, but I have brought it down because I've just sort of remembered. Oh yeah, and by the way, so on my last video update, we had built the greenhouse, I think, and maybe put some glass in it, but yeah, anyway, all the glass is in it, and it has, well, it came with these two panels, benches to sit things on. As you can see, the area below is panelled in anyway. So what I thought I would do is, yes, there's plenty of room for growing things, like especially my chilies and stuff here, and then I have created this pathway just with some pavers that came with a greenhouse, and I've literally laid it on some shingle and a plastic sheet and some cardboard, and then just put these double piece bricks in there, and to hold the bricks in I've literally put these pegs that usually hold down the membrane, the weed membrane. So they're just to kind of push the bricks in until everything settles down. Of course, it's not a patio, it's not going to be walked on very much, and it looks like it just will hold back the soil. And I had to dig up quite a bit of soil. This wasn't on a flat surface, it was like running uphill, so I dug quite a bit of it out, and so I created I created a border around the outside and at the end, so I should be able to, with light running through these slats here, should be able to grow some shady things in the bottom, like lettuce and just some Asian greens and things like that for the time being, because he has put these, so they're pretty fixed, but they're only screwed on, so I could take them out and grow some taller tomato plants here. But I have got the other two greenhouses as well. Now this is quite a big tall panel in the back of it, so with this border here I will probably just grow a couple of cucumbers, English cucumbers, and they will be in full sun, but we'll just have to see how they get on, and if they don't, then another year I'll try a melon or other kind of climbing thing that can benefit from the big double glass window at the end there. We've got some brassicas and bits and pieces coming on, like some spinach. This is just one set in here, and I have actually planted some spinach already, so I'm going to see how they're getting on. But mostly what I've been doing this week is just coming down every day and lifting all of the wooden planks and just trying to do slug patrol, just to keep the numbers down, because it has just warmed up here, but it's been very wet, and that's perfect conditions, and so you know, as fast as you want to get things in the ground, now that you've, you know, had your seedlings going for a while and they're getting really big and they're busting out of all the pots that you've put them into or the cells that they're in. As soon as you put them in, it's like the slugs are having a bit of a feast on that. So I have lost a few things. Bit sad, but then again, the same thing happened last year really, so I should know better. The peas got a bit nibbled that were put in a bit earlier, like, you know, 10 days ago. They have sort of survived, but I have got another set and I put those in yesterday. So I just think just keep some spare and just keep popping them in, and eventually they will get big enough, or a few of them will survive, get big enough, get tall enough away from the soil. The slugs will go, you know, elsewhere and go for the finer things, and you'll probably end up with a few nice crops, hopefully, early on. That's the idea. Obviously your raised beds will be a bit more protected. Raised beds, especially with a cover, netting, plastic, something will be there, but I still put the slug traps, the beer slug traps in there, because there's no guarantee that it just seems to hold them back for a while. But once they get a sniff of, oh, there's some new green juicy leaves in that raised bed, they'll be in there. Nothing really stops them at the moment. It is yeah, slugs are the biggest menace. So I do begin my slug patrol by just checking underneath everything in here. You can see these lettuce are really keen to go out, but I found these leaves really susceptible last year, so I'm trying to grow these on. I have given them a tiny feed, but I'm just trying to grow these on as tall as I can before I put them in the ground, because I put them in and I came back night after, and 3/4 of them had been munched down to the ground. So I don't really want to use those as slug bait for the moment. But just check underneath all these, you know, maybe not in a warm greenhouse like today's quite warm in here, although the wind is cold, but you know, any little space that they like in between pots, underneath pots, just they're the kind of places that you need to. But I think it really does. I do think it makes a difference, you know, just checking through everything. Oh yeah, there's one. Look, hang on. And there really is no nice way to deal with slugs. I think the nicest way is probably just to feed them to the birds. You know, if you've got a bird table, pop them on there and give them a couple of minutes, and if the birds see them, they'll come down and get them. At the allotment here, I literally just have a spare slug trap that I have covered up, and I just put them all in there to have a little swim about. Yeah, as the temperatures have got warmer, you'll see this condensation start to build up underneath any of your low tunnels that you've got. So you do need to open them up and give them a bit of an airing. Now let's just see if there's any casualties from last night. So what you're seeing here, oh, let me just zoom in a bit. What you're seeing here is my pak choi, the red-leafed ones. They've had a nibble. Nothing seems to have been nibbled completely down to the ground, but there has been a bit of damage. So we will check. There are a few slugs in the slug traps, but no, something's coming and going, and he's hiding here somewhere. So I crowded them out. I put quite a few in and I've got some spares, because I just thought, well, crowd them out. Chances are some will survive. Some leaves that get nibbled won't be the end of the world. Just tidy them up as soon as they start growing, throwing up the centre shoot, and you know, hopefully it will get too warm for slugs before they've really decimated. Check under any wooden pieces that you have. because the chances are that every single day, and you can see him here, you will find these little buddies hanging out where it's a bit damp. And like I say, I just take him and feed him to the slug trap. Hopefully he doesn't climb out. Have a good look around. Put that down. And it's a bit like a little slug trap itself. Look on the floor. Oh yeah, there's one. Completely missed him, and he seems to have got quite fat since maybe yesterday. Look, he's filled. So he's been one of the people, one of the sluggies that have been going in there, having a feed and then coming back out to hide. Very cunning. So I got this little net, and I do already have quite a bit of netting, but this came with the hoops, the metal hoops already, and they're sewn in. The net is sewn around them. So I thought, well, it was very cheap, like £8. So, and I have just got a few little multi-sewn beetroot underneath there, and they've been in there for about a week. So far so good. They're kind of growing. If you have any last year's chard, you might start to see a few new leaves coming through, which I have been just taking and adding to some salad. So I thought they were going to die over winter in the frost, but yeah, I'm really happy that that's survived. Now we have to look in this shady kind of cold frame at the end here. I planted this up with some kales, and you can see they have survived so far. Looking a bit hot, maybe a bit dry too. I didn't water them yesterday. And we have got some lettuce in here. This is the Sarah Ravens mix, winter mix I think, but anyway, that's starting to go. So quite happy about that. Various kales in here. You can see it's like it's 3:30, and this area now probably gets the sun for the second time, but really don't mind shade. So I'm going to check these slug traps, have a look for and fill them up, and give it a bit of water in here in a moment. First, just go and have a look at this little border. I pinned this one down because it was very windy, and I replaced this cover. I mean, I did have a bit of trouble with these plastic covers, you know, being sold on the internet as polytunnel covering and UV, you know, resistant, but then I realized there is a difference of UV resistance, and so I went for the highest one because the original one just shattered into tiny pieces, so I really got caught out then. So I've had to redo them all. Again, this is overwintered spinach. We've got I don't know what variety they are, because I did, it may be Medania. I had 3 or 4, and some of them didn't do so well. Like this one, this little small leaf one, didn't do so well over winter, but it's now starting to pick up again. But this one, yeah, these are coming on well. I've had a lot of this over winter, and I just planted some of the white radish and some more pak choy. So far so good. Yeah, we'll check the slug traps again, bit of patrol. You really do need to be vigilant just for a couple of weeks, like early spring when you're first planting things. Let's just see what's in this one. I have been popping something. Oh no, that's the overwintered mustard. So yep, still I mean, they grow actually quite quick. You know, once a week you can take quite a good harvest off of that and add it to your salads, which I love to do. Let's have a look at these little peas. We had a few casualties here, definitely, and I've replaced a few. So we've had a bit of a nibble, but maybe they've gone now. And then so I've replaced a few of the peas in here. And these are just a sugar snap munch too. Got them covered up with a bit of vermifleece. About as rudimental as you can get. It's just hung over the top and pinned down with a brick. Yeah, until it starts growing, and then I will string them up and have a rack here, and they can go as high as they like. Garlic's coming on okay. No sign yet of the asparagus tips coming through. We need to have a bit of a weed in here, but there's plenty of sign of raspberries that popping through from next door, and they've travelled quite a way. They'll just travel underneath the fence. I'll just get a spade and dig through them and chop them off, but this is a regular thing. I need to put a barrier layer through the centre underneath this fence, really stop them coming through. But yeah, I hope your garlic's all growing nicely. We'll just walk around and have a look at the carrots. Don't know if they're coming yet. That's my dad's peas there. He's got some growing. Lots of space at the moment, you know. Bit too early for lots of things to go out, but some things can. You can see the kale. If you don't get your kale and your brassicas out now, then what will happen is, you know, they'll go to seed. As soon as it warms up, they'll go to seed. So these are my new double borders, double raised beds. So I've just got two stacked on top of each other, and they just kind of link in. One just overlaps the other, and I find that two overlapping like that makes a really nice steep bed, because that's probably 14-16 inches tall. Nothing showing yet. That seed is not. That's just one of the many seeds that have fallen down from the tree, but no seeds yet. And I got these nippy clips. Look, I thought these were quite good. They're like scaffold netting clips that I found in my sort of local cheap shop, and you know, they're good. They're good because they just literally hook over and pin that net down, and then the hoops I've just made out of the normal trunking, the plastic tubing. Yeah, pin it together at the end. Not really any need for it yet, but the carrots will eventually come through from there. So we've got three beds like that. So we should have enough carrots this year. We've got two types of blueberries. This is the smaller variety, but is prolific, all in flower. As you can see, just coming into flower, like pretty, very pretty. And that's just inside the tyre, and I keep topping it up. I fed it, just gave it some powder feed. And here is the bigger blueberry. Not as many flowers. This sunny area here. There you go. There we are. But much, much bigger blueberries. Looking forward to that. And we've got the new black currants are coming into bud now. Planted 3 new black currants. So yeah, they're looking good, coming on. And so, you know, you can see like everything's just all coming into leaf a little bit here. This is raspberries and tayberry. It won't be long before everything's coming through. So that's just a quick update of the things that I have planted, mostly brassicas and Asian greens. I've got some onions, the spring onions that I'm growing on from my previous video. They are coming on quite well in the greenhouse. So I'm just leaving them in the cold, unheated greenhouse for now. And I will just plant my onions out where I've got space after I've planted all the main things that I've got. Like I've got brassicas growing on, Calibres and early cabbages, 2 spring cabbage, greyhound and April, and they did well last year. But I'm trying to just grow them on as much as I can because of the slug problem, and just pot them on to from the cells into some 3-inch pots, and just let them get as big as they can until it warms up, and then they should really just take off. As soon as they hit the ground, they should really take off, and they stand more of a chance of doing that. But I do have quite a few spares as well, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I just noticed, I mean, didn't have a very good year for the old, purple sprouting, but I've only just noticed that this is just really just come into action now, so I might have to pick that and take it home. Let's just have a quick wander into the polycarbonate greenhouse. Whoa, it feels so warm in here. I don't know if you've got polycarbonate one, but you notice the difference even between this and the glass one. It's quite a bit smaller, of course, but let's stand still and you'll be able to see that's 26, somewhere around 26, 27 degrees centigrade. The onions are really starting to perk up, I think that's the term. I trim them, I trim the tops off, and I potted them on from the cells into these larger pots. Roots are coming through now. Keep an eye on them if you're going to do that, because they don't like drying out. More spinach to top up. So like I say, I've got plenty of spares for, I've offered some up to the predators in the borders, and once they've had a munch, I shall replace them and just keep successional planting until finally you get a good crop. And I'm sure that's what a lot of people do anyway. I can't believe that nobody else has any slug damage. So we've got quite a few different onions here. They all just look like a bit of a straggly mess, but they will, once they grow on, I will then separate them out like the leeks and then plant them into the ground, and they will take off. As I was saying, here is my Calibres, and I've put them into these individual pots. Really taken off. These cabbages not doing too bad in the cells, but they do need a bit of extra space. These are well rooted up. These little cells are well rooted up now, so yeah, we really need to get those either out, but I'm not going to do that because they will get eaten, or into the next size up. And then they just, look at that, look, that's only about a week, and then right through the bottom already. So we'll give that chance to root up in there. Yeah, even in your greenhouse, you need to just check underneath things, because there's got to be a slug hiding in here somewhere. Well, thanks for joining me. I will be doing a few extra bits over the bank holiday, because this is Good Friday, by the way. This is Good Friday, and yeah, it's just a quick visit today, but I will be preparing that bed and planting it up, because I do have lots of spare lettuces to put in the glass greenhouse, the new cedar glass greenhouse. And this one does need a bit of attention as far as, potting up all these brassicas. So, and I'll be planting some new seeds. So I'll have a tour of the indoor garden underneath the grow lights, because there are still tender things in there, like my chilies and my aubergines. Everything's like really crying to come out into the sunshine, but it's still sort of 8-10 degrees most days. We need it to warm up a little bit here. Anyway, enjoy your gardening, enjoy your Easter weekend. See you soon.